As an artist, I think it's really important to show a bit of progression and not just sort of stand in the same spot and always produce the same kind of works. And I wanted to take an exploration to the semi-abstract worlds. And because I paint architecture and we're surrounded by sea, I thought, well, why don't I look at the architecture of the sea, which in this case is the different corals that are found in and around the Mediterranean. It's a series of 9 paintings based around the Pantone colour of the year, which is peach fuzz. And it's about very much the fluidity and the abstract forms of the corals themselves. A lot of my process was around watching a lot of underwater videos because I wanted to look very much about the form themselves rather than necessarily capturing corals in a very realistic form. I think Picasso used to say, like, you have to learn the rules in order to break them. And often the way that we hang a painting is the way you hang a mirror, and we don't have to. So I wanted to play, because the forms are so fluid themselves, but they're actually in quite sort of structured shapes. I wanted to play with the positioning of the canvas, in this case the frame, to make it a bit more dynamic. And I think there's an energy to the pieces by having them hung on their side that maybe you wouldn't have if they were hung in a more traditional form.
One thing I always wonder about artists when they're working on something and it takes a while to get to it and to then finish it and kind of release it. It's done, it's out there. As you're walking around here and as you're talking to people and you're probably glancing at what you've created, how do you feel now that they're on display?
I mean, often they're labours of love, and I think I'd make a lot of things that don't work, to be honest, and I think it's part of the artistic process. And I also think that a lot of time you spend a lot of time thinking before you actually execute things and put things on paper. So I think there's definitely a proud moment, but part of me also, that they're my children, no? So like I don't have a favourite because I think that's just, no favouritism allowed, no? But I see very much also the process, and not the pain, but like the real hard work and thought that's gone into creating each piece, because with color, with composition, like I'm really inspired by a lot of mattes when it comes to my compositions. And even though these are semi-abstract, I still want them to have some flow and some harmony to them. So there's still a lot of thought behind them before committing the paint to paper.